The rain hammered the lake house roof like fists demanding entry. But inside, the real storm was brewing in my chest as I locked eyes with him across the crowded kitchen. Alex, my boss's son, his gaze slicing through the polite chatter like a secret we both knew we shouldn't share. I'd come here thinking it was just another corporate retreat, a chance to impress Mr. Harlan with my spreadsheets and small talk. But one stolen glance from those storm blue eyes, and my carefully built walls of denial cracked wide open. In that heartbeat, with thunder rumbling like a warning from the gods, I realized this quiet weekend in the Michigan woods was about to unravel everything I thought I knew about myself. Gabriel Harlano. Wait, that's my boss's name. I'm just Gabriel, the 28-year-old account manager who spent the last 5 years climbing the ladder at Harlan & Associates in downtown Chicago, pretending my weekends were filled with gym sessions and craft beers instead of the ache of unspoken truths. I'd always been the reliable one, the guy who showed up early, stayed late, and never let the personal bleed into the professional. But as the team trickled into the sprawling log cabin on Lake Charlevoix that Friday evening in late summer, lugging coolers and duffel bags, I felt the first twinge of something off-kilter. Mr. Harlan, all booming laugh and salt and pepper hair, clapped me on the back as we unloaded the cars. Gabriel, my boy, you deserve this break. Work hard. Play hard, that's the Harlan way. His words landed like a benediction, but they twisted in my gut because I knew his son was here too. And I'd seen Alex's photo once, tucked in a frame on his dad's desk, that effortless smile, the kind that made you wonder what lay beneath the surface. The house was a monument to old money-vaulted ceilings with exposed beams, a stone fireplace that could swallow a manhole, and floor-to-ceiling windows framing the lake like a painting come alive. The water lapped gently against the dock outside, a deceptive calm under the gathering clouds. Our group was small: me, Sarah from marketing with her endless energy, Tom the IT guy nursing a perpetual hangover, and a handful of others, all buzzing with the promise of no emails for 48 hours. Mr. Harlan had insisted on this tradition, a team bonding escape to recharge before the fall crunch. I pitched in with the setup, stacking firewood and arranging charcuterie on the massive oak island, my mind wandering to the email I'd ignored that Morninga Grinder notification from some faceless profile downtown. I'd swiped left on my life for too long, burying the part of me that craved more than fleeting hookups in shadowed bars. That's when Alex appeared, slipping through the French doors like he'd materialized from the mist. He was taller than the photo suggested, maybe 6 feet 2 inches, with broad shoulders under a faded flannel shirt rolled to his elbows, revealing forearms dusted with golden hair. His blonde waves were tousled, as if he'd just raked fingers through them. And those eyes, God, they were sharper than the autumn chill seeping in. "Hey, Dad's crew," he said, voice low and warm like aged whiskey, extending a hand that engulfed mine in a grip both firm and lingering. "I'm Alex. Welcome to the madhouse." Our palms met, and electricity shot up my arm, a jolt that made my breath hitch. He held on a second too long, his thumb brushing my knuckle in a way that could have been accidental or not. Sarah swooped in with hugs, breaking the spell, but as he pulled away, his gaze flicked back to mine, a spark of recognition that said he felt it too. Dinner was a blur of grilled steaks and red wine, laughter echoing off the walls as stories flowed freer than the Merlot. Mr. Harlan held court at the head of the table, regaling us with tales of deals closed in boardrooms and narrow escapes on the water. I sat across from Alex, stealing glances over my glass, noting the way his laugh lines crinkled when he bantered with Tom about fantasy football. He was 29. I'd overheard back from a year abroad in Europe, figuring out his next move after dropping out of law school. Not cut out for the suit and tie grind. He'd shrugged earlier, but there was a shadow in his eyes, a weight that mirrored my own hidden burdens. As the night deepened, the rain picked up, drumming a relentless rhythm that drowned out the world beyond these walls. One by one, the team peeled off to their rooms upstairs, yawning about canoeing at dawn. I lingered in the kitchen, rinsing plates to avoid the vulnerability of bedtime small talk. Footsteps behind Messoft. Deliberate. Need a hand. Alex's voice wrapped around me like smoke. I turned, suds dripping from my fingers. And there he was, leaning against the counter, a dish towel slung over his shoulder like he belonged in some indie film. Up close, he smelled of pine and rain-damp cotton, his stubble catching the low light from the pendant lamp. "Nah, I'm good," I lied. But he stepped closer anyway, grabbing a stack of bowls. Our shoulders brushed as we worked in silence, the air thickening with unspoken words. The storm outside flashed lightning, illuminating his profile-strong jaw, full lips curved in quiet amusement. "You know," he said finally, voice dropping to a murmur, "my old man talks about you all the time. The golden boy. Steady Eddie." There was no malice, just a teasing lilt that made my pulse stutter. "What about me?" I shot back, bolder than I felt. He paused, eyes locking on mine, the blue depths pulling me under. "He says you're the one who keeps it all together. But I wonder, what does Gabriel do when he's not holding the fort?" The question hung there, loaded, as thunder rolled. I dried my hands, heart slamming against my ribs. "I survive," I said, the truth slipping out rawer than intended. He nodded, like he understood survival's sharp edges. And for a moment, we stood there, inches apart, the kitchen island a flimsy barrier. Then, with a grin that disarmed me, he tossed the towel onto the counter. "Come on. Storm's perfect for the porch swing." Beats staring at ceilings. I followed him out, the screen door creaking shut behind us, into the downpour's embrace. The swing hung from chains under the eaves, swaying gently as we settled side by side, legs stretched out on the damp wood. Rain sheeted off the roof, a curtain sealing us from the house's prying eyes. We talked easy at first, about the lake's hidden coves and Chicago's brutal winters, but soon it veered deeper. He confessed the pressure of being Harlan's heir, the expectations that choked him like weeds. "I came out to him last year," Alex said, staring at the lightning-veined sky. "Took it better than I thought. But Europe's where I breathed away from the whispers." My throat tightened. I hadn't said the words to anyone at work, not even Sarah, who I'd swear was an ally. "Lucky you," I murmured. He turned, his knee nudging mine. "Your turn. What's the thing you're running from?" "Gabriel." The vulnerability cracked me open. Words tumbled out, the fear of labels sticking like tar, the hookups that left me emptier, the dream of a life where I didn't have to choose between ambition and authenticity. He listened, really listened, his hand finding mine in the dark, fingers interlacing with a gentleness that shattered me. "You're not running alone anymore," he whispered, and when our lips met, tentative, then fierce, it was like the storm had ignited inside us. His mouth was warm, tasting of wine and want, his free hand cupping my neck as if I'd vanish. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed together, the rain's roar muffling our ragged breaths. "This is insane," I laughed shakily. "Your dad's upstairs." Alex's eyes gleamed wickedly. "Insane's my specialty. Stay with me tonight." I nodded. The decision made before the question hung in the air. We slipped inside, past the darkened hallway, up the creaky stairs to his room at the far end, a cozy attic space with slanted ceilings and a window overlooking the lake. The door clicked shut, and in the dim glow of a bedside lamp, he pulled me close again, shedding layers like old skin. What followed was a tangle of limbs and whispers. his body fitting against mine like it had been waiting. Alex was all contrasts, gentle touches tracing my scars. Then urgent kisses that bruised in the best way. We moved together under the quilt, the storm outside mirroring the one within. Every gasp and moan a rebellion against the silence I'd imposed on myself. Afterward, spent and sated, we lay entwined, his head on my chest, fingers tracing lazy patterns on my skin. "Tell me this isn't a one-night glitch," he murmured, vulnerability cracking his voice. I kissed his temple, heart swelling with a hope I hadn't dared name. "It's the start of something real." Dawn crept in too soon, gray light filtering through the curtains. And with it, the weight of reality. Voices drifted up from below, Sarah's laughter, Tom's groan about coffee. We dressed in hushed urgency, stealing one last kiss before parting like thieves in the night. Downstairs, the day unfolded with forced normalcy. Canoes launched into the glassy lake. Picnics on the shore with laughter masking the secret humming between us. Alex rode with effortless grace, his biceps flexing under his tank top, shooting me winks when no one looked. "Mister." Harlan boomed orders for a friendly race, oblivious to the undercurrent. And I paddled harder, adrenaline surging not from competition, but from the thrill of stolen glances. Lunch was sandwiches under the pines. Stories swapped about city mishaps. But my mind replayed the night's echoes, his breath hot on my neck, the way he'd whispered my name like a prayer. By afternoon, as we hiked a nearby trail, the group strung out along the path. Alex fell back with me, our hands brushing accidentally amid the ferns. "Last night was..." He trailed off, cheeks flushing under his tan. "Everything," I finished, squeezing his fingers quick and fierce. But as we crested the ridge, overlooking the endless blue, a shadow fell Tom, lingering behind, his eyes narrowing at our proximity. "You two plotting a coup," he joked. But there was an edge, a curiosity that prickled my skin. Evening brought a bonfire on the beach, flames crackling as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in bruised purples and oranges. Guitars strummed folksy tunes, marshmallows roasted to gooey perfection, and wine flowed like the lake's tide. Alex sat beside me on a log, our thighs pressed warm, his pinky hooking mine in the dark. "Mister." Harlan raised a toast to family blood and chosen, his eyes misty, and I felt a pang for the man who'd built this empire, unaware his son was rewriting the rules right under his roof. As embers danced, Sarah pulled me aside for girl talk, her brow furrowed. "You okay, Gabe? You've got that glow like you won the lottery or something." I deflected with a grin, but her gaze sharpened. "Spill. Is it the fresh air? Or..." Before I could dodge, Alex appeared, slinging an arm around my shoulders in brotherly fashion, too casual, too loaded. "He's plotting world domination," Alex quipped, and she laughed, but I caught the flicker in her eyes, the pieces clicking. The night deepened, the fire dying to coals, and one by one, the group retreated. "Mister." Harlan clapped Alex on the back, pride radiating. "Proud of you, son. This place heals." Alex's smile was genuine but strained, and as his dad wandered off, he leaned in, breath ghosting my ear. "Meet me at the dock in 10. I nodded, pulse racing. The path to the water was moonlit, pebbles crunching underfoot, the air thick with cricket song and lingering smoke. He was there, silhouetted against the rippling black, stripping off his shirt and tossing it aside. "Swim," he challenged, diving in with a splash that echoed my reckless heart. I followed, the cold shock of water stealing my breath. But his arms found me in the dark, pulling me under the surface for a kiss that tasted of lake and firelight. We surfaced laughing, treading water, bodies buoyant and bold. I could get used to this, he said, serious now, his hands framing my face. To you. The words wrapped around my soul, mending fractures I hadn't known were there. But as we climbed out, dripping and delirious, headlights pierced the night, another car pulling up the drive. Late arrivals or... No, just a neighbor. But the jolt reminded me of the fragility. Back in his room, we made love slower this time, savoring each touch, mapping promises on skin. Sleep came easy, his heartbeat my lullaby. Sunday dawned crisp, the storm a memory, leaves rustling in a gentle breeze. Breakfast was pancakes and bacon, the team loose and sun-kissed, packing bags with reluctant sighs. I helped load the vans, stealing moments with Alex, a brushed hand here, a loaded look there. Mr. Harlan cornered me by the garage, his expression paternal. You've got a bright future here, Gabriel. Don't let anything derail that. The words landed heavy, laced with unintended irony. As we said goodbyes, Alex hugged me tight, whispering, Chicago. Friday. My place. His eyes held a vow, and I drove away with the lake shrinking in my rear view, heart fuller than the miles ahead. But the drive back was a pressure cooker. Tom rode shotgun, fiddling with the radio, his casual probe slicing through the hum of tires. So, you and Alex died already. Looked cozy last night. My grip tightened on the wheel. Laugh forced. Just bonding. Harlan magic. He hummed, unconvinced, and dropped it. But the seed of doubt sprouted. By Chicago's skyline, the high of the weekend clashed with reality's grind, mails piling, deadlines looming. Work Monday was a minefield, Mr. Harlan's praise in the morning meeting, Sarah's sidelong glances, Tom's knowing smirk over coffee. I buried myself in reports. But my phone buzzed at lunch. Alex, miss you already. Dinner soon. Emojis couldn't mask the ache. We texted through the week, flirty threads weaving deeper his fears of disappointing his dad, my terror of exposure. Friday came like salvation. I showed at his Wicker Park loft. Nerves electric. He opened the door in sweats, pulling me into a kiss that erased the days apart. Pizza and beer turned to tangled sheets. His body a homecoming. Weeks blurred into a rhythm, stolen nights. Weekend getaways to dive bars and hidden parks. Our worlds colliding in quiet defiance. He met my sister over brunch. Her easy acceptance a balm. I endured a tense family dinner at the Harlans, playing the colleague while his foot nudged mine under the table. But cracks formed. Tom's whispers in the break room, saw you leaving with Alex last week, ignited paranoia. Mr. Harlan called me in, concern etching his face. Everything all right? Son, you seem distracted. I nodded. Lies. The weight crushing. Alex felt it too. Our lovemaking fierce with desperation. We tell them. He urged one night. Rain lashing his windows like that first storm. Or we lose this. Fear clawed me. But love won. We planned the reveal over dinner at the lake house. Off-season quiet. The drive north was tense. Autumn stripping the trees bare. Mr. Harlan greeted us warmly. Steaks searing on the grill. But his eyes sharpened at our linked hands. What's this? He asked. Voice steady. Alex stepped forward. My anchor. Dad. Gabriel's more than a colleague. He's mine. Silence stretched. Thunderous. Harlan's face cycled shock. Hurt. Then a sigh like releasing a lifetime's armor. I knew you were hiding. Son. But this. He looked at me. Searching. You make him happy. I nodded. Voice thick. More than I deserve. He pulled us into a bear hug. Gruff. Then welcome to the family. But if you break his heart. The threat dissolved in laughter. Tears mingling with rain as it started again. That night, by the fire, stories flowed as youth. My secrets, the bridges we'd burn and build. Alex and I slipped to the dock, stars wheeling overhead, hands clasped. We did it. He breathed. I kissed him, the lake whispering approvals. What began as a quiet weekend had rewritten us from shadows to light, fear to fierce love. In the end, it wasn't the storm that changed everything. It was the courage to dance in it. The months that followed were a whirlwind of tentative normalcy, like learning to walk after years in chains. Back in Chicago, Alex and I navigated the office minefield with coded glances and after-hours escapes. Our relationship a fragile bloom in the corporate concrete. Mr. Harlan David, now, in private moments kept his word, treating me with the same gruff affection. But the undercurrents rippled. Sarah cornered me in the ladies' room one Tuesday. Arms crossed, but eyes sparkling. Spill. Harlan. I knew it the way you two lit up like fireflies at the lake. Relief flooded me. Her hug was fierce. A sister gained. Tom, though, simmered with passive jabs. His jokes, laced with barbs that made my stomach knot. Careful. Gabe mixing business with pleasures a fast track to HR. I brushed it off. But doubt festered, whispering that one wrong move could topple it all. Alex thrived in the openness, his energy infectious as he dove into freelance graphic design. Sketches of us hidden in his portfolio silhouettes by the lake, hands entwined under city lights. Our first real date was at a quiet Italian spot in Lincoln Park, candles flickering on checkered cloths. His knee pressed to mine under the table. To us, he toasted, glass clinking mine. And in that chime, I heard futures unfolding. But romance's glow cast long shadows. His ex, a brooding artist named Riley, resurfaced via a drunken voicemail, slurring regrets and recriminations. He'll leave you too, Gabriel, just like he did me. Can't commit when daddy's shadow looms. Alex deleted it, but the poison lingered, fueling late-night arguments where old wounds bled. I'm not him, I'd insist, pulling him close. But trust was a muscle we flexed raw. Winter clamped down, snow blanketing the city in hush, and we escaped to the lake house for New Year's, the place a cocoon of memories. David joined for a night, his toast by the fire raw, to second chances for all of us. He shared his own buried youth, a college love lost to era's cruelties. Eyes distant. Don't waste it, boys. Life's too damn short. We rang in the year on the frozen dock, fireworks bursting overhead. Alex's arms my harbor. Spring brought bloom picnics in Millennium Park, his head on my lap as tulips unfurled. Whispers of maybe a place together. But Tom's envy boiled over in a team meeting. His sabotage subtle, leaked emails twisting my reports, fingers pointing my way. Confrontation came in the parking garage, rain slicking the asphalt. What the hell? Man, I demanded. He sneered, just leveling the field. Golden boy's got it easy, daddy's pet now. The fight was ugly. Fists clenched but not thrown. HR's shadow looming. David intervened. Tom's reassignment a quiet mercy. But the scar remained a reminder that acceptance was earned, not given. Summer circled back, the lake calling like a siren's song. We arrived early, unpacking in the sun-dappled kitchen. Alex's laughter echoing as he chased me with a water gun scavenged from the attic. That weekend was ours Alanino team. No ghosts, just the water's lap and our unfolding lives. We canoed to hidden inlets, bodies slick with sweat and spray. Picnics of cheese and berries devoured on sandy shores. One afternoon, as thunderheads gathered, we made love in the hammock, the world swaying with us, his gasps mingling with distant rumbles. Marry me, he murmured post-climax, half joking, ring imagined in his eyes. I laughed, heart soaring. Only if it's by the lake. But levity masked depths. Riley's texts persisted. A digital specter. And one night, wine loose, Alex confessed the pull of old patterns. I push away when it's good, scared I'll ruin it. Vulnerability stripped us bare. Tears salting our skin as I vowed. We're building, not breaking. The real tempest hit in August. David's health faltering, a heart scare during a board meeting. Ambulance lights flashing under Chicago's relentless sun. We rushed to the hospital. Alex's hand vice-tight in mine. Corridors blurring in panic. David pulled through. Weak, but Ryan is gown. See, even I can't quit this family. Recovery was slow. The house on the lake his sanctuary. And we shuttled between cities, nursing him with soups and stories. In those quiet days, bonds deepened, David's tales of resilience mirroring our own. His pride in Alex a beacon. You too. You're the best thing I did, he admitted one evening. Sunset gilding the room. But strain tested us. Exhaustion frayed tempers. Alex snapping at my caution. Me retreating into work's armor. A blowout came by the fireplace. Words like sparks. You're suffocating me. He yelled. I'm protecting us. I shot back. Door slammed. Silence deafening. I wandered the dock alone. Stars indifferent. Regret a cold wave. Hours later, he found me. Arms wrapping from behind. I'm sorry. Can't lose you to my fears. We mended in the boathouse. Slow and sacred. Reaffirming in whispers. Fall painted the woods gold. And with David's strength returning, we hosted a harvest gathering, friends. Not colleagues. Laughter filling the rafters. Sarah brought pie. Toasting to loves that weather storms. Her wink conspiratorial. As leaves drifted, Alex and I hiked the ridge. The overlook where doubt first stirred, now a summit of certainty. Remember that first rain? He asked, wind tousling his hair. I pulled him close. Lake sprawling below. How could I forget? You turned my world upside down. His kiss was fierce. Sealing fates. Back home. Over candlelit takeout. He slid a key across the table as loft. Our future. Move in. Tears pricked. I nodded. The yes a leap. Winter's grip loosened into spring again. Our shared space a canvas of Ushy's art on walls. My books stacked haphazardly. Mornings tangled in sheets. Challenges lingered, office politics ebbing. Riley fading to irrelevance, but triumphs mounted. David's retirement party. His speech lauding, the son who taught me love's true shape. Eyes on us misty. We danced under string lights. Bodies sinking like that first storm-swept night. The lake house became ritual. Weekends of renewal. Canoes and campfires etching memories. One July Eve. As fireflies blinked, Alex dropped to one knee on the dock. Ring glinting, a simple band etched with waves. Gabriel, you've been my anchor. My storm. Marry me. Laughter bubbled through tears. Yes. Echoed over water. Sealing eternity. The wedding was intimate. Lakeside under a floral arch. David officiating with trembling voice. Vows exchanged amid wildflowers. Rings sliding warm. Kisses sealing under cheering kin. Sarah's toast rang true. To weekends that become lifetimes. As we danced barefoot on dew-kissed grass. Alex's whisper grounded me, never forgetting how it started. In that embrace. Kith and kin around. I knew we'd turned a quiet escape into a legacy of love. Fierce and unyielding. Proving hearts could weather any gale. Yet, even in the afterglow of vows, life whispered reminders that joy was a vigilant flame. Our honeymoon was a road trip up the Pacific coast. Windows down. His hand in mine as highways hugged cliffs. Ocean roaring approval. Stops in Big Sur for cliffside kisses. Portland's breweries for lazy afternoons. each mile weaving us tighter. Back in Chicago, the loft hummed with newlywed rhythm coffee brewed strong. Arguments over dishes dissolving into make-up sex on the counter. Work shifted. David's handover made me interim lead. Pressure mounting, but purpose sharpening. Alex's designs flourished. A gallery show in Soho beckoning. His pride swelling mine. But shadows crept. Tom's transfer soured to resentment. Anonymous emails to HR hinting at inappropriate conduct. Forcing investigations that dredged old fears. Nights. I'd pace. Alex pulling me down. We're solid. They can't touch this. His faith armored me. But sleep evaded. Dreams replaying the lake's first thunder. Riley's ghost resurfaced to a chance encounter at a design mixer. His eyes raking Alex with hunger. Still playing house. He sneered later in a text Alex showed me. Hands shaking. Jealousy flared. Irrational. But we talked it through by the window. City lights blurring tears. You're my choice every day? He affirmed. And in reclaiming trust, we grew unbreakable. Summer swelled. The lake house our haven. David, healthier now, hosted barbecues. His laughter booming as grandkids Aristotled about. One evening, as dusk fell, he pulled me aside by the grill. You saved him, Gabriel, and me. Emotion choked me. We saved each other. Alex overheard. Joining the huddle. Our triad a quiet testament. Storms came that season. Literal and Noda client crisis tanking my promotion bid. Alex's show review panning as derivative. We weathered in the attic. Rain pattering. Body solace. Rebuild. He murmured. Fingers in my hair. Together. Fall brought harvest moons and milestones our first anniversary at the dock. Recreating that swing kiss. Wine warming veins. David's gift, a deed snippet. For the next generation. Tears flowed. Legacy wasn't blood, but love's echo. Winter tested a new blizzard stranding us. Power out. Candles our world. Huddled under quilts. Story spun of beginnings. His voice steady. That weekend. Fate's hook. Spring bloomed forgiveness. Tom's apology arrived. Contrite email admitting envy. I replied grace. Closing circles. Years layered like lake sediment. Alex's career soared. Murals gracing subways. Mine stabilized. Mentoring young talents with David's wisdom. We adopted a rescue dog. Max. Romping shores. His bark's joy's punctuation. Challenges evolved fertility talks yielding to chosen family. Travels to Vietnam tracing roots. But the lake anchored. Annual retreats renewing vows unspoken. On our 10th. Under that same arch. Friends gathered. David frail but beaming. To endless weekends. He toasted. Voice quaver. As stars pricked. Alex and I slipped away. Dock creaking. Still unforgettable. He teased. I kissed him deep. Lake sighing. Eternally. In that moment. Kith woven tight. We knew, from one stormy spark. A lifetime ignite draw. Resilient. Profoundly human. The decade mark passed in a haze of milestones. But life's underbelly stirred unrest. David's decline accelerated. Prostate shadows lengthening. His lake house visits waning to weekends. We rallied meals prepped. Doctors charmed Alex's devotion a mirror to mine. One crisp October morn. As leaves carpeted the drive. He confided by the window. Coffee steaming. What if we start a family? For real. The words hung. Thrilling and terrifying. Discussions deepened over fallow fields. Surrogacy paths winding through agencies. Hopes fragile as frost. We chose Mia, a teacher from Milwaukee. Her laugh warm over video calls. Our pact sealed in trust. Pregnancy's arc was a tempest ultrasounds revealing twins. Joy exploding. Then bedrest cage. Alex pacing while I worked remote. Storm's literal raged. Lake winds howling as contractions teased early. Breathe. He coached. Hand on belly. Our bond steel. Boys arrived in May. Squalling under hospital lights Caleb and Finn. Red-faced wonders. Homecoming to the loft was chaos, sweet diapers daisy-chained. Nights fragmented but full. David met them lakeside. Summer sun gilding tiny fists gripping his finger. Harlan's through and through. He rasped. Eyes wet. Fatherhood reshaped us Alex's sketches now of chubby cheeks. My spreadsheets swapped for lullabies. But cracks spidered, sleep deprivation fueling snipes. Riley's congratulatory card a sly barb. Hope they take after you. Not him. Work pulled. A merger demanding travel. Leaving Alex solo with babes. Guilt gnawed. One red-eye return. I found him frayed. Twins teething. I can't do this alone. He admitted. Voice breaking. We realign nannies hired. Boundaries drawn love's labor refining. Fall brought David's fade. Hospice whispers. We brought the boys to the house. His bed by the window. Lake view eternal. Stories wove final threads, his youth's loves. Our beginning slaughter mingling coughs. Proud. He whispered last. Hand in Alex's. Eyes on me. Passing at dawn. Storm-scented air. We buried him dockside. Eulogy mine. A man who taught us love's quiet thunder. Grief hollowed. Winter's long. But twins' mischief mended first steps on porch planks. Giggles echoing beams. Spring. We scattered ashes over water. Ritual releasing. Alex's art channeled loss. A series echoes on the lake. Gallery walls alive with blues and golds. Opening night. Critics lauded visceral rebirth. His hand in mine anchor. Fatherhood's forge-tempered joys preschool haunts. Lakeside camps teaching knots and constellations. Challenges morphed. Caleb's stutter therapy. Finn's boundless energy channeling sports. We parented tandem. Date nights stolen at corner bistros. Touches reigniting sparks. A decade more etched maturity. Boys grew lanky. Questions probing, why two dads? Answered honest. Books bridging gaps. Alex's renowned Drew lectures. Me balancing exec role with family board. Storm's hit recession biting firm. Freelance droughts but lake retreats reset. Canoes carrying cares away. One gale-swept eve. Teens now. They confessed crushes girls. Boys our arms open. Love finds its shore. Alex said. Echo of us. 20th anniversary, dawn misty. Doc vows renewed. Boys officiating awkward but earnest. To unforgettable beginnings. Caleb toasted. Finn adding. And endless adventures. As sun broke. Family whole. I knew, from boss's invite. A quiet weekend bloomed empire of Heartkith forged in thunder. Enduring calm. Maturity's mantle settled gentle. But life's pulse quickened unforeseen. Caleb, at 16, navigated identity's maze's first boyfriend. A shy artist like Alex. Sparking pride and pangs of deja vu. We guided soft. Lake talks under stars mirroring our own youth. Finn, the athlete. Chafed academics. Soccer dreams clashing my pragmatism. Chase joy. Alex urged. Tempering my push. Family dinners devolved to debates. Laughter lacing tensions. Bonds flexing stronger. Career crests varied. Promotion to partner. Glass ceilings cracked. But boardroom biases lingered whispers of diversity higher. Alex's mural in Millennium Park immortalized us. Public now. Trolls online a bitter pill. Ignore, he said. But scars itched. We countered with advocacy panels on queer parenting. Lake House hosting youth retreats. Stories shared fireside healing hidden hurts. A curveball struck mid-autumn, Mia's call. Reconnection tentative. Thinking of you a life circles. Coffee meet evolved lunches. Her warmth unchanged. Twins aunt natural. No drama. Just grace. Expanding kin. Winter's hush brought introspection Alex's novel. Lake whispers. Semi-autobiographical. Publishers circling. Launch party lakeside. Rain holding. Guests toasting truth in tides. Reviews hailed Tinder thunder. Royalties funding scholarships in David's name. Spring unleashed wanderlust family trek to Yellowstone. Geysers erupting like emotions long banked. Boys bonded with cousins. Alex and I stealing trail kisses. Wildflowers nodding. Back home. Challenges compounded. Caleb's breakup heartbreak. Ice cream vigils. Finn's injury sidelining season. Crutches clumping halls. We held space. Vulnerabilities voicing. Resilience rippling. Summer solstice. Lake bonfire roared. Stories circling flames grandkids, none yet. But futures bright. Alex's whisper amid smoke, still my storm. Kiss fierce, always. Fall harvested growth boys off to college. Empty nest echoing. But trips filled voids. Europe echoing his youth. Winters warmed with visits. Pride swelling at their strides Caleb's graphic path. Finn's coaching gig. 30th loomed. But health's thief struck Alex's diagnosis. Routine check yielding pancreatic shadow. World tilted. Lake drive blurred tears. Treatments loomed. Resolve stealing. Fight together. I vowed. Hands clasped. Boys rallied. Mia's meals fortifying. Community cocooning. Storms raged Internalcamo's nausea. Fear's midnight voiced but joys pierced. Mural unveilings. Book tours paused for park picnics. Remission's whisper came spring. Scans clear. Celebration dockside. Twins toasting unbreakable. Alex's eyes, weary but wicked, told you lakeside luck. We recommitted. Travels tentative, then bold Bali beaches. Italian hills. Reclaiming time. Boys' weddings followed Caleb's lakeside. Finn's urban loftus dancing. David's spirit in every step. Aging grace soft, silver threading hair. Lines mapping laughs. Lake house passed to boys. Our Chicago nest cozier. 60th dawn misty. Vows thrice renewed. Family vast. From quiet weekend to this. Alex marveled. Hand in mine. Legacy lived in art. Advocacy. Love's quiet roar. Unforgettable. Understatement eternal. Decades wove tapestry rich. Threads of trial and triumph interlacing. Boys' families grew grandkids toddling shores. Caleb's twins mirroring ours. Finn's daughter fierce with curiosity. Lake house brimmed Sundays. Chaos joyful. Alex's sketches capturing dimples. My stories lulling to sleep. Health's fragility revisited me, ticker faltering. Stints bridging. Alex's vigil bedside fierce. Not without you. He growled. Echoing youth's defiance. Advocacy deepened. Foundation in David's name. Scholarships for queer youth. Lake retreats mending. Testimonies poured. Your story gave me courage, humbling. Healing. Alex's second novel. Echoes endure. Bestseller bomb. Proceeds fueling dreams. Tours wearied but bonded. Hotel nights young again. Hands exploring familiar maps. Challenges evolved. Grandkid raising aids. Caleb's firm struggles. Finn's divorce ache. We mediated gentle. Wisdom distilled from storms. Personal gales Alex's creative block. My retirement restlessness met in therapy's circle. Voices honest. Growth green. Summer 60th. Bonfire grand. Generations ringed. Toasts layered boys' gratitude. We one's giggles. Alex pulled me dockward. Stars confetti. That weekend best plot twist. Laugh kiss, our epic. Fall harvested peace. Winter's cozy with yarns and wine. 60s slipped to 70s. Pace is slowing, but passions burn garden plots. Memoir co-penning. Lakebound hearts. 80th crested. Health tandem fraying joints creaky. Breath shorter. Boys shuttled care. Lake air elixir. One autumn eve. Hammock sway. Alex's hand frail in mine. Ready for next adventure. Eyes met. Lifetime flashing. With you. Always. Passing came peaceful. His sleep deepening beside me. Dawn lake glow farewell. Grief tidal. But love's residue warm ashes scattered together. Dock eternal. Alone. Never family wove tight. Stories sustaining. I lingered years. 90s wise. Grandkids' queries met tales of thunderous weekends. Centenary neared. But heart whispered enough. Dockside final. Breeze kin. I smiled. Unforgettable odyssey. From boss's invite to cosmos embrace. In the hush following Alex's departure. Time stretched elastic. Days blending in the loft's sun-dappled quiet. Grandkids filled voids Caleb's boys. Now teens. Debating art with echoes of their grandfather. Finn's daughter sketching wild lakes under my guidance. The foundation thrived. Retreats bustling with young souls finding voice. Each story a ripple from our stone. I mentored from armchair. Letters typed slow. Imparting, love's not loud. It's the steady current carrying you home. Physical frailties mounted cane clicking floors. Naps lengthening but spirit soared on memory's wings. Summers at the lake mandatory. Boys insisting. Waters lapping familiar hymns. One July storm. Reminiscent thunder. I sat porch swing. Rain sheeting. Visions vivid. That first gaze in the kitchen. Electric promise. Miss you. Murmured to wind. Peace settling like dew. Challenges persisted. Foundation funding dips. Navigated with boys savvy. Personal lapses. Names fleeting. But love's litany sharp Alex's laugh. David's gruff. Twins' first cries. Therapy evolved to journals. Pages inked gratitude. Travels curtailed, but vivid virtual tours with we once. Passports dusty, but passports passed. 90s bloomed resilient. Memoir published. Unforgotten shores. Bestseller surprise. Proceeds endowing more dreams. Launch lakeside. Rain holding. Toast tearful. To granddad's thunder. Finn's girl chimed. Arm linked mine. Fall's gold, gilded reflections. Winters warmed by fireside yarns great grand now. Cycle sacred. Centenary dawn misty. Family vast dock gathered. Arch flowers fresh. Vows solo. Whispered to lake. Eternal weekend. My love. Cake cut. Songs sung. Hugs fierce. Evening bonfire. Embers are first. I felt pull gentle. Inexorable. Bed that night. Visions crowded. Alex's hand. Waiting. Breath eased. Storm distant. Heart full. Legacy lingered foundation eternal. Lake House Haven. Stories rippling generations. From quiet invite. A life woven wonder. Kith boundless. Love's light undimmed. Unforgettable. The understatement of ages. The veil thinned gracefully in those final months. Existence a soft focus of contentment. Great-grandkids patter energized mornings. Their questions portals to your tell the lake story again. Great Gabe. Each retelling polishing facets, the rain's demand. Gazes spark. Nights unraveling. Caleb curated exhibits of Alex's work. Galleries humming our narrative. Finn coached youth teams. Ethos instilled. Play fierce. Love fair. Health's tide ebbed predictableness regimented. Caregivers kin close. Challenges minimal. Tech baffles laughed off. Isolation warded by calls constant. Summer's sacred. Lake swims supervised but soul-free. Waters whispering welcomes. 99 waned autumnal. Leaves confetti farewell. One eve. Dock solitude. Cane aside, I traced planks worn by decade steps. Thunder grumbled distant. Smile curved, cycle complete. Bedward. Family clustered. Hands linked chain. Storms coming. I noted. Peace profound. Sleep claimed gentle. Dreams dockbound. Alex's arms open.